Hey, Misfits. So, yeah, I was crying. My eyes are a little puffy. I'm good. Crying is an emotional release. And honestly, it's underrated as hell. I stayed with myself. I let it move. And now I'm here. What I moved through wasn't about this video. Let me just begin. A lot of things that we call personality quirks are actually trauma responses. And I don't say that to shame anyone. I say that because most people don't even realize their trauma responses. Things like apologizing constantly, people pleasing, being overly polite, over explaining, feeling responsible for other people's emotions, never being able to say no. People think those are just how they are. They think that's my personality. And for a long time, I thought that too. But what those actually are survival strategies you created as a child. As a kid, you didn't have power. You didn't have choice. You didn't have the ability to leave, confront, or set boundaries. So your nervous system adapted. You learned how to stay safe in the environment you were in. And those adaptations worked. They helped you survive childhood. The problem is, what keeps you safe as a child can absolutely wreak havoc in your life as an adult. And most people don't even realize what's happening. They think they're just too sensitive, or too nice, or bad at boundaries, or overthinkers. No, you are adapting. And here's the thing I really want people to understand. Most of us have trauma. You don't need some massive, dramatic event for trauma to exist. Trauma isn't about the big thing, the big thing that was. It's about how your nervous system experienced it. Yes, trauma can happen in adulthood. Absolutely. Yet, childhood trauma is far more likely to shape these patterns because when you're a child, your brain and nervous system are still developing. That's when attachment forms. That's when self-worth forms. That's when your understanding of safety forms. So if you see yourself in these things, it does not mean that something's wrong with you, and it does not mean you're broken. It means you've adapted to something you shouldn't have had to adapt to. Lord of mercy. And I need to be very clear about this part. Trauma is not your fault. Not ever. You didn't choose it. It happened to you. The fault lies with the abuser, the environment, the neglect, the harm, not with the child who survived it. Yet, and this is the part people don't like to always hear, the healing is your responsibility. The hurt isn't your fault, yet the healing is your responsibility. Unfortunately, it's just the way it goes. No one can heal you. but you. And that doesn't mean you do it alone. It doesn't mean you never talk about it. It doesn't mean you never have moments where something spills out and you go, oh, well, I guess that needed to come out. Healing doesn't mean silence. It means awareness. For me, this started because I didn't want to bleed on other people anymore. I didn't want my unhealed stuff to keep hurting people who didn't deserve it. I wanted to be able to exist in relationships, friendships, partnerships, community, without bleeding all over them. And that doesn't mean I don't talk about my trauma. It means I'm more intentional about how I talk about it, and where I talk about it, and why I'm talking about it. Because here's the truth. Trauma explains behavior. It does not excuse harming others. And awareness is the key. Once you see these patterns for what they are, once you realize, oh, this isn't who I am, this is something I learned, you finally have a choice. That's where healing starts. And healing is not linear. It's not a one and done thing either. You don't heal something once and never see it again. You might think you've healed something and then it shows up differently in a relationship, in a boundary, in a reaction you didn't expect. That doesn't mean you failed. It means there was another layer. We repeat lessons until we fully learn them. So if you're noticing these things in yourself, don't shame yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't tell yourself you're broken. Look at it as information. This might be the first place you start working on yourself, or the next place. But now you know. And once you have awareness, you get to decide what you're doing with it. Because if you do nothing with it, nothing changes. You deserve better than just surviving what once kept you alive. You deserve to fucking thrive. So let's take steps to get there together. I'm Shanacorn of Shanacorn Mindship Coaching, a trauma recovery coach. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. You matter. You so fucking matter. You rock, and I am so glad you're here.